إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Indeed, all praise is due to Allah, and as such we should praise Him, seek His help, seek His forgiveness, and seek refuge in Allah from the evil which is within ourselves and the evil which results from our deeds. For whomsoever Allah has guided, none can misguide, and whomsoever Allah has allowed to go astray, none can guide. And I bear witness that there is no God worthy of worship but Allah, who is alone and without partner. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam was the last messenger of Allah. إن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Indeed, the most truthful form of speech is the book of Allah, the Quran. And the best source of guidance was the guidance brought by Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And the worst of all affairs are the innovations in religion. For every innovation in religion is cursed. All cursed innovation leads to misguidance, and all misguidance ultimately leads to the hellfire. أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله. I ask and implore you and myself to fear Allah, because taqwa is the core of Islam. It is the reason why we fasted Ramadan, as Allah said, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, in order that you would develop taqwa. It is the reason why we benefit from the Quran and the reading of the Quran, because Allah said it is hudan lil muttaqin, guidance for those who fear Allah. And the Prophet ﷺ said, at-taqwa ha-huna, pointing to his heart. It is in the heart. But as faith, according to the concepts of Islam, includes not only what happens in the heart, but what happens from our tongues and what happens from our limbs. All of that is an expression of faith. So the core of faith is the fear of Allah, taqwa. Another fact of life, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts each and every human being through different trials in their lives. He said in Surah Al-Mulk, verse 2, الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةَ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. He who created life and death in order to test which of you will be the best in deeds. That this life is a test. And he also said through the Prophet ﷺ that those who face the biggest trials are the prophets. Then those who are next to them. Then those who are next to them. So trials in life are indicative, fundamentally they are indicative of a closeness to Allah. Meaning that if your life is moving along so smoothly that you don't find any trials there, you better think, are you on the right path or not? And we know from the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that his life was one of trial. From the beginning of the da'wah, calling people to Allah, he faced trials. And the more the message spread, the greater the trials. To the point where they even tried to kill him. And even after leaving Mecca and going to Medina, they sent armies after him. And this was the last prophet and the greatest prophet of Allah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has elaborated on the issue of trials and gave us a solution for how to handle them. He said in Surah Al-Baqarah, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. I will test you with some fear, hunger, loss of wealth and life, and the fruits of your labor. So give glad tidings to those who are patient. Give glad tidings to those who are patient. So the solution for a life of test and trial is that of patience, as-sabr. And for the vast majority of human beings, we have to learn it. There are a few who Allah has created patient. But for them, Allah has given another test, because Allah is fair. Otherwise we say, how is that? This person was created patient. The rest of us are impatient. وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانَ عَجُولًا. Human beings were created impatient. So, where's the fairness here? No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is fair. So if He gives that rare person patience, then He gives him another test in another area. So he has to struggle in the end, just as everybody else has to struggle. While we are struggling with patience, he's struggling with something else. So, patience being a virtue which has to be acquired, we wonder, how do we acquire this patience so that we can receive the glad tidings of Allah? Glad tidings means what? وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. Glad tidings means glad tidings of paradise at the end of this world. The ultimate success. So how do we achieve patience? The Prophet ﷺ gave us a basic formula. He said, مَن يَتَصَبَّرْ يُصَبِّرْهُ اللَّهُ. مَن يَتَصَبَّرْ يُصَبِّرْهُ اللَّهُ. Whoever pretends to be patient for the sake of Allah, Allah will give him or her patience. Whoever pretends to be patient, externally you're patient, but internally you are impatient. Eventually you will gain patience. Some people say, but that's hypocrisy. You know, a hypocrite is one who shows one thing on the outside and something else on the inside. But no, not in this case. Not in this case. Yes, one who shows belief on the outside and harbors inside himself or herself disbelief, then that is the munafiq, the true hypocrite, about who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ فِي الدَّرْكِ الْأَسْفَلِ مِنَ النَّارِ. That the hypocrites are at the lowest levels of the hellfire, the bottom of the hellfire. They are part of the stones that run the hellfire, that burn from. So what the Prophet ﷺ was advising us is to strive to contain ourselves. Strive to contain ourselves. Control ourselves, at least physically, externally. That if we repeatedly do it, eventually it will become natural. It will become natural. And that's how our nature functions. That things done repeatedly eventually become habitual. You just do it even without thinking. So this is a goal worth dedicating our lives to. Those of you that have anger management problems, and there are many of us, who explode at the littlest and smallest issue, gain control of that anger by externally not saying anything bad. Just bite your lip, bite your tongue. Just close your mouth when it comes. So though internally you're exploding, you don't let anything come out of your mouth which expresses it. In the past, people used to say, and doctors agreed, that it is better to say what you feel. Don't control it. Get it off your chest. Let it go. And you feel better. Yeah, of course, when you shout, you scream, you do all of this, at the end of it, you feel much better. But recently, the doctors have said, no, it's not better. Because when you scream, and the person who is angry and they're shouting, you see all the veins in their neck, in their face is turned red, and they are just exploding. They say whenever you do that, blood vessels, very small blood vessels in your brain burst. It's not good. better you control yourself. Well, Allah told us that through His messenger 1,400 years ago. Control. And when one man came to him and said, O Messenger of Allah, instruct me to do something which will take me to paradise, he said, La taghdab, don't get angry. Don't get angry. For him, as an angry person, a person who gets angry very easily, he told him, don't get angry. So this is how we achieve sabr. And that sabr can be in so many different ways. I spoke about anger, but it could also be with regards to all of our various emotions. We control them. We don't become hasty. As they say, haste makes waste. When you're hasty, you make wrong decisions. You regret it later. You say, oh, I shouldn't have done that. So, that patience is balanced with gratitude. Patience is balanced with gratitude. Now, trying to achieve that patience is something, as I said, we all need to do. But it is not by itself. Just simply being patient is not sufficient for one to be a rounded Muslim personality. Father, brother, son, leader, teacher, accountant, whatever. But it's the starting point. It's a starting point, since we live in a life of test. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us patience, to grant us the wisdom to strive for patience, and to forgive our impatience of the past, our current impatience, and to forgive the impatience of our parents, our relatives, and our children, and to give us the wisdom to make patience a way of life. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. I ask you, as I tell myself, to turn to Allah and seek His forgiveness, for only Allah can forgive. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulillah. All praise is due to Allah, and may Allah's peace and blessings be on the last messenger of Allah. As I mentioned, patience is one side of the coin. One side of a coin whose opposite side is gratitude. Ibn al-Qayyim wrote a book called Patience and Gratitude. And they referred to these two as the two wings of faith. As a bird cannot fly with one wing, faith does not grow and benefit with only one of these characteristics. Is gratitude. And the way we know that gratitude is so important is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it the very first words of Surah Al-Fatiha. After the Basmala, in Fatiha, what do we say? Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Allah chose Alhamd, that is gratitude and praise, belongs to Allah, the Lord of all the worlds. He chose Alhamd as the first word. And Allah is most wise. So when He placed Alhamd in that high position, we must know that it is something critical to our lives. Without it, our lives are lost. If we don't have patience, but more importantly, if we don't have gratitude. Gratitude is even more key than patience. Patience handles the test, but gratitude handles the other tests of good. And Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had said, "Ajaban li amril mu'min, inna amrahu kullahu khair." The affair of the believer is amazing. Indeed, all of his or her affair is good. So if if good comes to him or her, they are grateful, and Allah rewards them for it. And if trials, calamities come upon them, they are patient, and Allah rewards them for it. In both circumstances, gratitude, patience. Gratitude, patience. And Prophet Muhammad ﷺ included in his sunnah al-mu'akkada, his stressed, emphasized sunnah, what is known as sujood ash-shukr. Sujood ash-shukr. How many of you have heard of sujood ash-shukr? Maybe you heard the name. Or maybe when you saw a football match which had a Muslim player, or a cricket match, and he scores a goal or he hits the ball and he falls down and makes sujood. We say, MashaAllah, Muslim. It's good. We like that. We appreciate that. But the question is, do we do that? If I were to ask you, over this past week, we're at the end of a week. Over this past week, how many amongst you made sujood ash-shukr, even one time? I'm sure that no hands would go up. Hardly. I'm asking you, how many of you did sujood ash-shukr this week? Put your hand up. Look around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 people out of how many thousands are here praying in the past week? The rest of us, nothing good happened? Nothing that we should be thankful to Allah for? By making sujood al-shukr? As the Sahaba reported that whenever anything good would happen, would come to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, the first thing he would do was make sujood al-shukr. Sujood al-shukr doesn't require wudu. You don't even have to face the qibla. You don't know where the qibla is, don't worry about it. You make sujood. Even a woman on menses, she can make sujood al-shukr. It's so simple. It's so simple. But we don't do it. If I asked you how many this last month, how many the last 6 months, the last year, how many have never made it in their lives? I will see all the hands up. Isn't this shameful? Here is the sunnah mu'akkada of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If it were not something beneficial, he would not have done it. He would not have made it a sunnah mu'akkada. So we need to bring back sujood al-shukr into our lives. We need to bring it back. When people come to me and they say, I'm depressed, something bad has happened and it seems all of my life is bad, nothing good is happening here, the people around me are not good and everything is bad. Depressed people. And most of us carry some form or other of depression. It kills more people than cancer. Depression. I tell them, make sujood al-shukr. Go make sujood al-shukr, because when you are depressed, everything around you is bad. There is no good. You can't see good anymore. So you need to make that sujood. And of course, sujood al-shukr is not just you bounce your head on the ground and up again and you say, okay, where's the miracle? It hasn't changed anything. Well, yeah, because you really didn't make sujood al-shukr. You just bounced your head on the ground. Sujood al-shukr means you put your head on the ground, your forehead and your nose, hands, feet, and stay there. Stay there. Reflect on the good that Allah has given you, the blessings that are in your life. Find them and reflect on them. And you start to do that, you will find your depression starting to go. That is fact. It's not to say it's going to cure every case. There are medical cases where people have medical imbalances in their systems which require taking drugs and things like that. But in general, for the masses of people, sujood al-shukr does it. You do that for a month. At the end of the month, inshallah, depression is gone. So, let us bring alive the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one of gratitude, where we thank Allah for the good in our lives, and the good in the lives of our parents, our families, our communities, our countries. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward us. It will be good for us, as the Prophet ﷺ said. And let us be patient. Patient with the trials, in our families, work, communities, countries. Let us be patient, because every trial is good. Every trial, if we are patient with it, it benefits us. If we are impatient, if we are depressed, then it becomes punishment. We are the ones. How we respond to our trials determines whether a trial is a blessing or a curse. We determine it. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the reality of the two wings of faith. Patience in our lives, difficulties, and gratitude in the many blessings which Allah has given us. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. أقم الصلاة.